Hi, this is Hart. This is a video series called Choosing the Best Trees. And so this is the fourth video in the series. In the previous videos we talked about why are trees important, what trees do, what are the best trees, how do you find the best trees, and then we talked about the best in my zip code or my county, which is numbers 1 through 10. But let's recap a little bit. Why are trees important? Well, trees cool the air, trees clean the air, trees hide carbon, trees absorb carbon from the atmosphere and store that carbon in their tissues and in the soil underneath. Trees and the plant communities that they support actually help create topsoil, because topsoil doesn't just happen. Topsoil is soil that's rich with carbon, loamy soil. What is topsoil if it's not loamy topsoil? It can be sandy or clay. It's best if it's loam. That means it has a lot of plant matter, dead plant matter, decomposed plant matter, which also includes a lot of carbon. Well, trees do that. They perform that service for us. Turf grass doesn't do that. A lot of things don't do that, but a healthy, thriving ecosystem provides topsoil. It helps make the soil more fertile over time, and the fringe benefit of that to us today is that it takes the carbon out of the atmosphere and puts it into the soil. That carbon belongs in the soil, not in the atmosphere. The soils of the earth could hold, there is a number for how much carbon the soils of the earth could hold. I've heard on good authority that that number is 7 times the amount of carbon that is currently in the atmosphere. Wouldn't it be great if we could utilize some of the capacity of the soils of the earth to store the carbon that's in the atmosphere? If we're going to do that, we need trees, especially in Kentucky, especially in eastern hardwood forests. Trees are the foundation, the backbone of the ecosystem, but we need to choose the right ones. We need to choose the trees that support ecosystems. We need to choose the trees that support the animals, like the caterpillars, the birds, that have such an important role to play in propagating and spreading the seeds and the genetic matter within an ecosystem, within a plant community. So, why are trees important? Okay, we talked about trees clean the air, trees cool the air, trees store carbon. What are the best trees? And how do you find the best? Let's talk first about how you find the best trees. Go to nwf.org/native plant finder. By the way, if you have any questions, message me. I'll do my best to answer your questions. But nwf.org/native plant finder is something that was not available to us prior to 3 years ago. This is great information. It's information that has been compiled. Bits and pieces of it were here and there, but a scientist by the name of Doug Tallamy and his staff compiled information that results in a ranking of what are the best trees. So let's go on to the list. Okay, if you're in my county, I have a list called the Top 100. Email me, message me somehow, and say, Hart, give me that Top 100 list you keep talking about. But all I did was I went to the Native Plant Finder, and I got information off of the Native Plant Finder at nwf.org/native plant finder. It's very important that anybody who cares about the planet, especially if you're involved in planting anything, go there and find out what to plant. But I have a shortcut for you called the Top 100. Now, in a previous video, I went through the top 10, but let's recap the top 10 real quickly. Oaks support 346 species of butterflies and moths, in that the caterpillars can eat their leaves. Plums and cherries, 290. Willow is number 3 at 239. Birch is number 4 at 223. Maple and box elder is number 5 at 205. Hickory, pecan, pignut, butternut is number 6 at 196. Aspen and cottonwood and poplar are number 7 at 193. Apples and crab apples are number 8 at 185. Now, each one of these genuses has native and non-native. There aren't any native apples. Apples, fine if you want to grow apples, but if you want something for wildlife, it needs to be a crab apple, and it needs to be a native crab apple. Number 9, cranberries and blueberries. There are natives and non-natives, but the natives support 172 species of caterpillars. It's very important because caterpillars are leaf-eating insects, and you know, we've broken the food chains by removing what leaf-eating insects need. We need to replace what leaf-eating insects need, and this is the definitive list. This is how we feed food chains. This is how we support ecosystems. This is how we support wildlife, by drawing from this list to determine what we're going to plant. Now, there are 300 in Jefferson County. There are 309 genuses or genera that support at least one species of caterpillar. So 309 is the total number, but if we need to choose the top, we need to start with the ones that are ranked the highest. Nothing wrong with planting a native grass or that only supports 3 or 4 species, but we need to make sure we plant trees that support hundreds or dozens, if not hundreds, of species of caterpillars. So I'm just about out of time. On the next video, we're going to talk about number 11 through 20, which include elm, alder, basswood, walnut, ash, not so much, but blackberry, beech, hawthorn, chestnut, and viburnum are number 11 through 20. We'll talk about those on the next video. Thanks.